This is episode 7 of the Crossman Sports Talk Podcast. Thank you again for joining us and listening in. Want to start off the night with a quick shout out. We have a podcast that's following us, and we just want to give a little love to Below the Rim podcast. It's a basketball podcast. They talk about sports and pop culture references. We just want to give a little love to that podcast and just trying to show, these small put together podcasts that are trying to go somewhere and just give them a little love. And then straight up jump into I want to start off with we're going to do pretty heavily NFL today. It's going to be, that's not much going on elsewhere, so we're going to start off with that. I want to start off talking about the Chargers. The Chargers. So the Chargers, so they blew another lead again on Sunday. They lost to Denver 31-30. So the Chargers, the first team since the 2003 Falcons to lose 3 games led by 17 or more points in one single season. So we talked about a couple weeks ago in regards to hot seat and coaches that are in trouble. At this point in time with what's going on with the Chargers, is Anthony Lynn in trouble now, Pat?
I don't know if he's in trouble or not. Like we talked about a couple weeks ago, I still think Anthony Lynn is a really good coach. I just think, right now it's one of those things that is happening to the Chargers, blowing those late leads. But as far as being in trouble, I don't see it to the fact, this year with COVID going on and everything. I think it'd be tough to bring in a new coach this time of year and like I said, I still think it's early in the season, and I think anything can happen in that division. So I think he's fine. Obviously, it's bad news for the Chargers. That shouldn't happen, but I still think he's okay.
Makes sense. And I think a bright part of that is Justin Herbert looks really good right now. He became the only rookie quarterback in the Super Bowl era with an 85 plus passer rating in each of his first 6 games. And he's got 250 plus passing yards in each of his first 6 games as well. First rookie since at least 1950 to do that.
Wow.
Do you think that is the future of the Chargers?
Oh, I guarantee he is. And I think they accredit a lot of what he's done to this point to Anthony Lynn. So I think that's a big part of Anthony Lynn keeping his job. They accredit a lot of Herbert's progression through the offseason to Anthony Lynn, and I think he's definitely their future. I can't remember a rookie that's played this well, honestly. Joe Burrow obviously is playing well this year as a rookie, but I think Herbert's definitely their future.
Makes sense. I don't know why I paused on that, sorry. I'll cut that out. Now, in regard to the Chargers division, Gavin, who do you like for that division right now? Is the Chiefs still the front runner?
Definitely. I think the Chiefs are going to be rolling with that division. I think it's already decided because when you look at the division, I think the Raiders probably won't have a chance because I don't think they can finish games. Denver, I think, is out of the race. And then Chargers are out of the race too. I just think the Chiefs are just going to keep rolling on how they've been doing because that defense is good, that offense keeps rolling. I don't think nobody can beat them in the AFC West.
Makes sense.
I think they got it through the whole year.
Oh, yeah. I think it's a pretty solid lock. We're going to move on. So the Seattle Seahawks Sunday beat San Francisco 49ers 37-27. Seattle is 6-1. Second time in franchise history. The last time they did that was 2013 when they went to the Super Bowl. So it's a pretty good achievement on that one. Within that game, so Russell Wilson tied Peyton Manning for most wins by a quarterback in the first 9 seasons in NFL history with 92. And since 2012, Seattle is now 60-1 when leading by 4+ points at halftime. It's unbelievable right now. And the way they played, the defense I thought looked a lot better, a lot more aggressive, more rushing the quarterback. There was a lot more pressures, a lot more sacks. We haven't seen that many sacks in a game.
No, definitely.
So in regards to the aggressiveness, is this the best way that Seattle should be doing going forward?
I think so. I think to the fact that, we waited till the trade deadline to see if Schneider and Carroll were going to make any more moves. Obviously, they didn't because of the cap being lowered because of COVID. So, all we got was Carlos Dunlap from the Bengals. But I still think, like we've talked about, we'll see if it's going to make a difference for Seattle with Dunlap in there, true, all-pro defensive end. And then obviously activating Snacks Harrison this week's going to make, see if that makes a difference. But I still think that if Seattle is going to make a true run at this, I really do. It's going to come down to the defense. Can we start gelling now that Adams is back, getting these other guys into the system? That's going to make a huge difference on how far we go, because I just think if our defense, obviously we played a lot better. I think we should play like we did Sunday, more aggressive, more blitzing, things like that. But I think it's going to come down to whether our defense is going to be able to, step up a couple of notches if we're going to go any further. That's,
Yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah, now, and the NFC West it's a tight race still with what you got going on, especially with San Francisco. Still sitting at 4-4. I think, with the injuries and everything going on, which we'll touch up on here shortly, I think they are probably going to be out of it now. But you still got a pretty good top three with regards to the Rams, the Seahawks, and the Cardinals. Is it going to remain tight throughout the whole rest of the season?
I think it starts to separate here between the Seahawks and the Cardinals. I think you're going to see the Rams start to fall off a little more. I think playing the weak teams that they did to start the season, Rams are good. I don't think they're top of the division good. So I think in the next couple weeks you're going to see Seattle and Arizona separate themselves from the Rams and the Niners. Rams, there's a good shot at a wild card still for them. 49ers are done. Obviously, Garoppolo's going to be out for a few more weeks. Kittle may be done for the year. He wants to come back and play earlier, but why would you do that? Why would you activate the best player on your team early off of an injury? I think that's where they got in trouble in the first place. It was when they brought Jimmy Garoppolo back early, and would they get crushed by the Dolphins?
Yeah.
Right there's a good example. No need bringing Kittle back, but no, I think the Rams and the Niners are going to start to tail off, and I think Arizona and Seattle is going to start to separate themselves here.
I agree, but also at the same time, I don't think what scares me though is obviously how divisional games go, and the Rams still got a good offense, and on any given night they can light anybody up. And in the past 2-3 years, we've had trouble. It seems like trends stick in the NFC West. Look at, for instance, the Cardinals. They always play us tough. We always usually split with them, and we usually split with the Rams. So I do agree that obviously the Niners I can see dropping off just because of injuries. But I don't know if I can count out the Rams yet. I mean, they got decent defense. That offense still scares me, and on any given night, they could light us up because obviously our defense still hasn't proven. Yeah, we played better last week, but we still haven't proven. So, like I said, the Rams could still, light people up. So I would hesitate a little bit yet on saying that they're going to fade.
Yeah.
One more thing is that thinking Russ's whole career, or at least the Seahawks, since Russell has joined the Seahawks, he's been 13-4 against the Niners, only lost 4 times. But on the Cardinals and them, I think it's like a combined record of 15-16 or something like that. He's lost, or maybe lower than that, but he's lost more games than won against the Rams and the Cardinals. They always play us tough every year. Even like when the Niners were garbage, we always beat them. But when the Rams and the Cardinals are, they always seem to play us tough.
That could come into play. I don't know. I just think I think Goff got exposed this past weekend. You put the amount of pressure on him that happened, and look what happens. And he's having a rough year anyways. I mean, he's in the middle of the road, obviously, but you don't have Gurley back there to take some of the pressure off him like it was in the past. I don't know. You're probably right. The offense is still not a joke. I mean, if they want to, they can play. they can still come to play any given Sunday. So, no, that was me. So, yeah, you know what, Pat, you could be right. Maybe we give a few more weeks on the Rams, but I definitely think the Seahawks and the Cardinals are going to separate.
Makes sense. In other Seahawk news, though, so Demontre Moore got suspended for 6 games without pay for violating the NFL policy on performance-enhancing substances. He had a forced fumble this year, 5 solo tackles, and he had a sack so far. Do you think the loss of Demontre Moore really affect the Seahawks defensive line right now?
I think it's going to affect special teams more than it's going to affect the defensive line. Demontre Moore was a stud on special teams this year.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely going to affect special teams more, especially with Snacks Harrison coming in. We're going to have a better rotation coming. Rasheem Green's back this week. So I think that's going to be a bigger hit on special teams, honestly.
It's probably true, but at the same time, like we talked about, defense, and hopefully that's saying if Snacks Harrison comes in and can make
Right.
big impact right away, but Seattle's always relied, because we've never had that. When's the last time Cortez Kennedy that we had a true stud defensive lineman? Since Pete Carroll, it's all been about rotation.
Yeah.
So you lose one of those rotation guys, that could make a big difference in. But like I said, we don't know. Is Snacks Harrison going to be the guy all pro guy he's been after a year layoff? We don't know. Plus, they said he was out of shape, and that's why they haven't activated him, because it's taking time for him to get in shape. That's what Pete Carroll said.
Yeah. So
So just because he's coming back, there's no guarantee that. He's a big body, obviously, but there's no guarantee that, he comes in, 3 sacks and, disrupting. Who knows? I hope that happens, but we don't know that yet.
yeah, for sure. And then, like you were saying, they brought him to the practice squad. They signed him October 7th, and they're finally just kind of getting him into that groove now. And so we'll see what happens when he starts this weekend, and we'll
Let's
see how he
hope
does
it
part of
works
that
out.
rotation.
But I know it's definitely going to hurt special teams, though.
Oh, sure.
Demontre Moore has played very, very well
Yeah,
on
absolutely.
special teams this year.
Yeah, and so we'll see what happens. Yeah, that, like you said, it could affect special teams incredibly, unless somebody else, step next guy up, and somebody else steps
And
up.
our special teams is top 3 in
They're
the league
fantastic this year.
this year. That's one of the things.
Yeah, I mean they're playing.
Punt, kick, that was his first miss all year on Sunday or on
That was weird.
on Sunday. Yeah, he just kind of blew that one down.
And they said, I had read something that said Cody Barton is starting to become the
ace.
The ace of the. I mean, he had a couple nice hits.
Oh,
on
dude,
the
he was that fumble that Niners had on the kick return they had.
He blew up Pettis.
Dude, he
Yeah.
blew him up.
And then they waved him a day later.
Blew him up to the point where they waved him, and
That's so
the
bad.
Giants picked him up.
Oh, poor kid.
Yeah.
So he could hurt so bad. We're
Wait, did he play?
I hate that because he's a Husky. So
Oh yeah, I was gonna say that he played it.
played at Utah.
Other Seahawks news. So